Okay, guys, it's time we got started. Flori, you can turn on your video if you can hear me, so we can see your wonderful face. Good morning to you, team. Good morning to everybody. Great to have you with us. I am very, very excited about this morning's coffee and shake break session. It's one that I have truly been looking forward to. In a moment, I'm going to introduce you to our wonderful speakers today. But just what is today all about? I really know that, and as all of you do, that we are living in very, very interesting times indeed. And I have been following as much as I can, whether I've been listening to podcasts from some of the world's top economists, I've been listening to what the governments have been saying, I've been listening to what the medical experts and professionals are saying, and everybody in between, not to plug into the negativity, but to keep myself informed. And I think everything is pointing to one clear result. And that result is nobody actually knows what is going on. Nobody understands what is about to happen. What we do know is that 150 million people are going to lose their jobs. We do know that about 1.5 billion people will be going into poverty because of this pandemic and this economic crisis. We do know that people are losing their salaries. We do know that people are uncertain if they're going to have their job in a month's time. And people are starting to ask questions around all of these things, and they're looking for certainty in the economy. They're looking for certainty in their job. They're looking for certainty in the property market or in the travel and the retail and the hospitality industry and many other things. People are searching for the certainty. And I really believe that asking for certainty in these things is where the problem lies. And people are trying to determine their future based on something happening out there, things that are uncertain at best and things that we have no control over. And so this morning, it's all about turning our back on this uncertainty. I think it's time that we started spreading stories of love, stories of belief, stories of success, and stories of people who have stopped investing in uncertainty and they started investing in themselves. They started investing in their future. And we have three wonderful people on the line with us this morning. We have a secretary, an ex-secretary, we have a ex-teacher, we have a pastor, all from very different backgrounds, very different stories, but there's a common thread amongst them. When they were faced with adversity and uncertainty at some point in their life, they became a near life distributor. And they made decisions and took actions based on the things that they could control. And they've all achieved a significant level of success in near life. And I've asked them just to share their heart with us today and to share the story of what were the things that got them started in their near life journey. What were the things that knocked them down? We know that success isn't a straight line. Success is a zigzag line. What were some of those things that really affected them or knocked them down? And then what were the things that got them back up and kept them going in their journey to achieving incredible success? So that is what this morning is all about. I hope you feel empowered. I hope you feel motivated and excited to hear their three stories. So good morning, Melissa Butler, Florence Mutumbu, Hansi Kronier. Great to have you guys on the line with us.
Morning.
Good morning. So we have Port Elizabeth, we have Cape Town, and Klerksdorp on the line with us this morning. Good. And we're going to start off with Melissa. So Melissa's got a fascinating story which she'll share with you. But she is based in Port Elizabeth. And Melissa, something interesting is I was looking at a business a couple of weeks ago, and I think April was probably the most uncertain month that we've had. We were in the middle of our very strict lockdown, yet her business grew by 33% over her best previous month, which I just think is incredible. And she is growing a team of families that are looking for a way that will help them get more out of their life. And so, Melissa, welcome to the call. Take it away.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. What a privilege to be able to share this morning. So I got started in the business many years ago. I was working, as Drew said, as a secretary for a firm of chartered accountants. But I was also, my husband and I had a catering business at a flea market on the weekends. So would work from Monday to Friday. Thursday evening, though, we would start to prepare for Saturday. We would work Saturday, Sunday was cleanup day, and back to work on Monday. We were young. I was only about 25 at the time. And I think back to it, we were working so hard, but yet we didn't have any spare cash. And when I was thinking about it, I thought, we were working so hard because we had dreams. And we just knew that there was just more out there for us. And we wanted to achieve so much more than what our 8-to-5 jobs allowed us to do. We wanted to just get rid of the restrictions of adult life. I had grown up, not really a huge dreamer, but grown up, I would say, presuming how life was going to be. And the way I presumed life was going to be was I was going to have horses. I always had, and so that was just going to carry on. I didn't have a car at the time. I was going to just have the ability to have the lifestyle that I wanted. I presumed that I would live in a small holding and we would just have freedom and just not the stress that adult life was bringing with it. And so it was at that time, I remember I was sitting one day looking out of the window, beautiful big office, lovely gardens, and I just thought, oh, if I leave here, actually they'll just replace me. I just wanted to do something that I would feel that I was making an impact. And I just realized that this was not the place for me. And it's just, I'm always so blown away to this day that it was at that time that God brought this business across my path. And I had a phone call inviting me to have a look at a business which I knew very little about. So I got excited. I had an incredible upline, got excited at the very beginning, got excited about the prospects and where I could go. But it didn't come without its challenges. I would say my first and most significant challenge was, we know that we have to get out of our comfort zone. I'm naturally an introvert. I can go through the day without talking to anyone. Nowadays, I love it. But at that time, I would happily just not talk to anyone and just stick to myself. And so when I went home and told my husband what I was going to do, he said, but you're not even really that keen on people. You realize you're going to have to get out and talk to people. So that was my first challenge. And then the other thing was at the very beginning, I was young and I had the feeling that I was now needing to offer this business to people, but yet I hadn't even achieved in it myself. I felt like I didn't have credibility to be able to say to people, look, this is what I'm doing, you must do it. And so that was something that I had to work through for myself. The other thing was people were the usual, not so much these days, but in those days it was the network marketing. Oh, you're doing that network marketing thing. Oh, well, that won't work. I realized that I needed to feed myself with network marketing positivity from the beginning. And I needed to work on myself and my personal development from the very beginning in order to keep myself going. My challenge was that I wanted to make those closest to me proud of me, and I wanted to make those that were skeptical, I wanted to show them. And the other thing was also I was at that stage in my life where our friends were on that whole they were on their corporate journey of having good jobs, buying nice cars, and doing what was the conventional expected of people. And here I was getting involved with a business that was seen as an older ladies' tea party kind of thing. And so those were the challenges. They were challenges and they were there, but I didn't allow them to stop me because I had my dreams and I knew that I needed to commit to my dreams. Some would say sacrifice. I will without a doubt say commitment. I had to commit to my future. And so I needed to do what it took. I never ever once have doubted the network marketing journey. I've never ever doubted the business, but I've needed to commit to doing things that other people were not willing to do. Things including events. At that time, we had weekly Monday evening training. Bearing in mind, we only had one car at the time. So that was always a little bit of relationship issues because I had to make sure my husband was back from work and he couldn't do anything else because I needed the car. Tuesday evenings, we lived in Pietermaritzburg at the time. I had committed to starting a team down in Hillcrest. So I would drive my 45 minutes, no matter what. Hail, storms, snow, thick mist, whatever it took, I would drive down there, finding the fuel money for that every week. But I knew that this is what I needed to do. I also needed to commit to be positive all the time. So I would come back and we would have had maybe one guest, maybe no guests, but I would come home and tell my husband that it had been fantastic. And because it had, I knew that this was every step further in my journey. conferences. We had 4 conferences a year that we had to go to, and I'm forever thankful for those Bloom conferences with the Eagle team. I remember the one conference was over the same weekend as a friend, very good friend's wedding, who I'd grown up with, and I said to her, sorry, I can't go to the wedding, I've got a conference. And to this day, we're still friends and fantastic, but that was a commitment that I chose. I remember the other time was a Saturday afternoon. We had a training, all distributor training, and it was another friend's wedding. My husband he was best man, and I said, sorry, I can't come. I've got a business meeting this afternoon. So it was that kind of commitment. I also remember when we had our Africa convention, the one year it was in Durban, and my middle child she was about 6 to 8 weeks old at that time. And it was convention, so I needed to go. And so what did I do? I piled her in the car with Alvina, our much loved nanny, and Mimi and I went down with Sky in the back of the car. Friday night, she and Sky sat at the back, and I would pop out to breastfeed her when needed and go back into the conference. I think we got back at about 11:30 or 12 that night. The next morning, we were in the car again, back down to Durban for the convention. And that was the level of commitment. If I look back now, we've moved provinces, we're now in Port Elizabeth. And so I needed to commit to keep on building my business. So moving down here meant cold calling people, going out and starting again with my team here. But the benefits and everything is just far outweighed any sort of challenges that it would have been at the time. Leadership school, I had the privilege with the company of going to beautiful 5-star leadership school. But my daughter, I had to miss her birthday, so we just postponed it a day. So it was that level of commitment. When you believe in your dream so much, it doesn't matter what it takes. You will do what it takes. And I committed to never, ever being negative and never, ever questioning this Neolife business, ever. No matter the challenges, I knew that this was my vehicle. And that has led to our success so far. My 3 children have had mom at home every step of the way. I've had the privilege of being with them, seeing their first step, first tooth coming out, first words, first everything. I've been able to be with them. And my heart and my passion is for, if you're sitting today watching this, just know that you can do it for you too. Anyone that's questioning, is there better for me? Is there better stuff out there? Can I do it? You can, just with commitment. And it's something that no one can ever take away our family, the fact that they've had mom and wife there every single step of the way. We now live on the most beautiful small holding. I get goosebumps when I talk about this. A few minutes up the road from the beach, we have horses. My son has chickens and pigs and all sorts of things. My husband has the most exquisite, enormous vegetable garden, which we have the privilege of eating out of. And we're living the lifestyle through this Neolife business predominantly that we have dreamt about over the years. We had an event 4 years ago. Many of us, we all have challenges in our life, and this was one of those major challenges where you feel like the world is just falling around your shoulders, and you wake up in the morning and think, how are we going to carry on? But you know what? We got through that time thanks to our Neolife business, thanks to the training that was so deeply ingrained in us. Just those golden threads of training that just fit into your tapestry of life and just make you who you are, that through that, my husband and I would go walking in the mornings, and we would actually talk about how excited we were about the future, about where we were headed, never mind the circumstances that we were in. And I know that there's a lot of people at the moment that feel like that also, that possibly feel like everything's crumbling around them. But this Neolife business is something that can just give you the hope, and it can and will, if you allow it, take you to those dreams. Travel. We've had the incredible privilege of traveling in style and in luxury, thanks to Neolife, to places around the world that we never would have if it wasn't for this opportunity. On Monday, I opened my diary, and there it said Prague. And I thought, oh, Prague, we should be there, but it doesn't matter. We'll get there another time. But places like that, and you know what? It's become the norm. It's become something that we now expect, to just be traveling to all these exotic, beautiful places. Hope, excitement, a family that dreams, children that have a Neolife mindset. My son is 17, and the thing that he can't wait about until he turns 18 is that he can become a Near Life distributor. And to me, that is just incredible. You know, we're able to, as a family, just dream together, be excited. It doesn't matter what we're going through. It doesn't matter. We're so excited about the future. And most important of all, and I just think that this is just such a blessing and a privilege, we are able to be the shining light of hope to others thanks to Near Life. And it is thanks to Near Life and thanks to this business. And then after I've said all this, I want to just say that I know that we're just beginning our journey. Thanks very much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Melissa. Isn't that amazing? And as soon as you started talking about travel, I got the exact same reminder on my phone. This week, the four of us should have been together in Prague with 500 other Near Life distributors. But because of the travel ban, obviously that's not going to happen right now, but we will be doing it in the next however many months, whatever it takes. But that's part of the journey. And there's some people listening to that amazing story. Some people would be listening to that saying that, Melissa, you must be crazy for making those kind of sacrifices. You're turning down your friend's wedding. And sometimes it does sound crazy. But what that tells us is that there is a price to pay for success. Success is not free. There is a price to pay. And to succeed, sometimes you've got to be willing to do things that you don't feel like doing. Sometimes you've got to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do. That is why some people succeed and some people don't. And sometimes we have to resist that urge to resist the urge to accept or use those excuses that life hands to us, those excuses that stop us from achieving our full potential and what we truly are capable of. So, Melissa, thank you so much. That was amazing. We're going to move on to Florence. Before we move on to Florence, I just want to say I have kept the questions and answer panel open. If we have time after this, we will take a few questions from you. So if you have questions, business related questions, please tap them into the questions and answers box and we will see if we can get to them at the end. But good morning to you, Flory. How are you doing?
Morning, Andrew. I'm fantastic.
Fantastic. Now, I've gotten to know Flory over the last few years, and I've got to say she is one of the best in the business. And you know, apart from achieving massive success in Near Life and her life, for the past 35 years, she has used her charisma, her humor, her charm, her knowledge, her experience to inspire and empower many, many other people into action in their own lives. And she has helped many people change their lives through this Near Life opportunity. And Flory has a long-term story of success. Flory, how many years have you been in the business for?
36.
She's been in the business for 36 years of great success. So her business hasn't only survived this current challenge that we're going through. Her business has survived the dot-com crisis we had in 2000. Her business has survived the mortgage prime thing we had in 2008. Her business has survived the atrocity of something like apartheid. Her business has been through many, many things, and she is still here and she is still strong. So Flory, welcome to the call. Great to have you with us. Let's hear your story.
Thank you, Andrew. Hi, everyone. I just want to say to you, I'm happy to be here on this panel today. Our story started many, many years ago when we joined Near Life. We didn't know about Near Life, didn't know about network marketing, but what we had was a dream that we have to change because we're staying in a mine house. My husband, Wilson, was staying in working on the mines. So I was a young teacher starting to explore many things in life. But we realized that even though we're staying in a mine house, we didn't have anything better in our life because you find that we were struggling to pay debts, we were struggling even to buy food. I remember as a teacher, sometimes during the month, we have to borrow some money from my other colleagues. And Wilson also will have to borrow money from his colleagues at work so that we can get some food. That's when now we realize that we have to do something. And one day Wilson was just coming from work and he said to me, Florence, you know, at 5 o'clock we must go and attend a presentation. By that time, we never knew about any presentation. There were no presentation. And then what happened now, I said to Wilson, no, I'm not going to attend. He said, no, we just go there. And I said, no, these people, maybe they want our money. And he asked me, which money? Because we don't have money. So we can go there and listen to this presentation. We have got nothing to lose at all. And then we went to that presentation. On our way, we agreed together that we're not going to join whatever they're going to tell us about. So the person who was presenting there, what happened, he talked about dreams. He said, if you have a dream, for better education for your children, house, cars. By the time I didn't worry about the car, you know, if you don't have a bicycle, you cannot worry about the car. I didn't mind to say, okay. But the education and the house, it was something like, really, we stay in a mine house. We need our own house. We need to send our children to better schools. And then we even forgot about the negativity that we had when we were on our way talking that we are not going to join or be interested. So we joined the business. We didn't have money by that time. They said, no, month end, you will have to pay. And then we knew that by month end, there was no money also. But we just say month end. And then month end came, our sponsor came and said, oh, here I am. Here's the application form. I was so negative by that day. I said to Wilson, I don't think we should start this. Wilson said, no, we should start. I said, we don't have money. I said, he said, let us use what we have. And that's how we got started in the business. Immediately we started, you know, we had to overcome some challenges. You know, when you start something that you don't know, fear will grab you. And fear can paralyze you. Fear grabbed me in a way that I said to Wilson, I'm not going to do this. You do it because you are the one who said you want it. I was so negative. And Wilson said, no, it's fine. I will do it. And then it happened that during those many, many years, we managed to save money. And Wilson said, we must go get the money so that we buy stock. That was something like, what? The money that we saved for many years and you say we must take it to buy stock? What if someone dies and then what are we going to do? Wilson said, but now there's no one who's dead. He said, no, let us not think about that now. Let us just get the money and start the business. And we took the money, we bought the stock. And we was in Clarksdorp. We had to travel all the way. By that time, we didn't have a car. We had to go by train to Mpumalanga, Bushbuckridge. That's where we were born and bred. We thought people who can buy our products are the people who know us. That's why we went to Bushbuckridge. When we arrived there, we called all our friends, our cousins, our relatives. They all came and we talked to them and we told them about the products. And they were so excited. We gave all the products on credit. That's how stupid we were. And we came back, they said they would pay us. I'm telling you, it's been 36 years, they've never paid us even today. And then when we came back, that means we have now to continue with the business. I was 100% negative again, saying, the business took our money. Wilson said, no, we took our stock. The company gave us the products. So we have to do something against it. How? Where is the money? Because we don't have any other account. He said, now we'll use our salaries. So what? He said, yes, our salaries. And what? Yes, we are going to use our salaries to buy stock. And he said to me, buy stock and I will go and sell. He was in the mines. There were so many people in the mines. But we left the mine and went to Bushbuckridge, very far. And what happened, Wilson, we bought the stock with our salaries. He took the stock. He said, I will come home after work. Now I'm going to sell the stock. And he went to sell the stock. You couldn't believe that day when he came back. He said to me, Florence, close the windows and the curtains so that you can't mark. Where's the man? I said, well, not just close the windows. That's what we did. And then I started counting money. It was for the first time in my life to count 2,000 because me and Wilson, our salaries was not making any 2,000. So we're so excited. That's when the excitement came in. We had to overcome that. It was so hard for us. And then we are now doing the business. The families they were also negative. I remember my brothers and sisters, they could not understand that a teacher would leave teaching to come and sell home care products, cleaning, soap. You know, those things we had to overcome. It was not easy for us, but we told ourselves we want to change our life. Another challenge is when you recruit people, you put people in the business. And they're excited. They say, we want business, we want to change our lives. And then tomorrow they're not there. You ask yourself, what now? Why are you not going on again? You don't have dreams and goals anymore. They say, no, I really don't need this business. It's not for me. And then we kept on saying, recruiting more people. You find that one time we want to be directors. And all of a sudden, the team just left. We're left alone again, me and Wilson. If you don't know what you want, by that time, when you are all by yourself again, you will decide to quit. You'll also look for a loophole to jump out. And then we didn't tell ourselves, we're just focusing. We had a dream. We know that we want to have a house. We know that we have to send our children to school. We just started again all over, building a new team. And then we kept on building the business as until up to today. The commitment, sometimes we all want to become successful. But people, they don't like the commitment part, where you have to sacrifice. We have to sacrifice. Sometimes we leave our children alone to go and start a business in Botswana. We didn't know anyone in Botswana. We just went there. We did. When you have the dreams, some other things that you do become crazy. We just went there and we started a business in Botswana, where even today, Botswana team is there. We went there without knowing anyone. We didn't have money to stay in hotels. We just have to ask, where are the rooms for rent here? We got the room. There's no bed. Remember, you have to sleep on the floor. And then we just kept sleeping there because anyway, we grew up sleeping on the floor without bed. So we didn't have any problem. And then that's how we committed ourselves. I usually say to people, we talk about commitment beyond repair. If you don't go out and commit yourself, there's no way you can just pray, and life change. No, God says we pray, and when we pray, we must take action. That's why God said, no sweat, no sweat. You see, it's easy as that one. If you want something in life, know that you have to commit yourself beyond repair. We started learning also how to do the business, how to present, how to train other people, how to help other people for them to grow. We started, learning all this. We didn't know that we have to do business how, and we just have to attend those meetings, starting. And when we started, being excited, becoming directors in the business, our sponsors left. We said, who? Now, where to? We started now depending on the company. We attended a convention with the company so that we can know more. We went to one convention that changed our life. Sometimes when you say to people, attend meetings, they'll tell you, I don't have money. I remember on that convention, I invited Mrs. Mutawu. She didn't want to go. I said, let's go. I'll pay for you. And you give me my money when you come back. And I took her there. Today she's the president team because of the convention. She could not understand me when I talk about the business, but the convention helped me to make her understand. So that's why even today, 30 years in the business, she's still there. So commitment is something that you must take this business as your business, and you must treat it as your business. If you don't take it as a business, you'll never achieve what you want in life. You must commit yourself. If you can work for someone from in the morning until in the evening, or sometimes you work overtime, you can also do that for your own business, and your life will change. That's why by committing ourselves, our life has changed. We achieved something that we never thought of in our life. You know, when we joined, I didn't know about a dream car. You cannot have a dream of a beautiful car while you don't even have money. So I never had something like that. Dream car, dream house. I never dreamed about that because I was so, so poor in a way that, when you are poor, sometimes you don't think properly. That's what I was. But with this business made us now to start dreaming, to start setting goals, start focusing, on the things that is important into our life. So instead of maybe attending weddings like Melissa was saying, you have to skip some of the things because now we are now focused on what you want to achieve. We have achieved a lot with those houses. That's what we have. We not only when we have houses where we are, we also have at home in Bushbuckridge. When we go there, we also enjoy, being there. Even now, you find that it was not possible for us to have, we could not have achieved what we have achieved today. We have the lifestyle that we are living today through this wonderful opportunity, the traveling, cruising. I remember being in Silverado, at Los Cabos in Mexico, traveling to Hawaii, all those wonderful and beautiful and exotic places. We have been there through this wonderful opportunity. That's why I say to you, what do you want? If you are serious about this business, treat it as a business. And I'm telling you, the future is bright. We are here today on lockdown, we earn. It's fantastic to have money while you are on lockdown. I think you build a business that you leave a legacy for your children. Even if I can pass on, I know my children will earn from New Life. So this is a business that we have to be serious about. The future is bright with New Life. We are so excited. I'm looking at it like it's every day. I feel like I joined yesterday. With the Zoom thing, it makes me so fantastic because now it was not possible for us to talk to Kenyans. I saw people from Kenya, people from Cape Town. It was not possible. We had to be together to talk together. But now we are on Zoom. I just say to you, focus and your life will change. One day you'll have your story. So I wish you all the best for our guests and our distributors. Keep going. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, Florrie. Thank you so much. How is that story? Absolutely incredible. And I'll never forget, as a new distributor, one of the first lessons I took away from Florrie, she said, the Bible says that the Lord will bless the work of your hands. You won't bless your hands, He will bless the work of your hands. Success requires work. And Florrie, I'm just so inspired by your story of sacrifice, your story of commitment and continued personal development and growth that has resulted in this incredible success for you and many, many others. And I so admire for many at the start of this lockdown, technology for you and for many of your team was completely a new thing. And we live in a world, how we adapt and change is how we're going to succeed. And I just so admire how you have led your team to adapting, and you've shown them the way that, when the world changes and things are different, we got to be able to adapt and change ourselves so that we can continue to thrive in the changing times. So we appreciate your leadership. Flori is a very, very special of our member of our president's team. Thank you, Flori. Hansie Cronje.
Pleasure.
Good morning to you. How are you today,
Morning,
Hans?
Drew.
Morning.
My life is a song, Drew.
Amen.
My life is a song.
Fantastic. So you're about to hear from Hansie Cronje, a pastor. He has an amazing story. He is one of our very, very successful president's team members in Near Life. I really appreciate having this relationship with Hansie. He is just a very, very clear thinker. He is a very clear thinker that is full of wisdom. And something I'm so excited about is what we're seeing is Hansie's children are starting their Near Life journey. And he has a clear succession plan lined up for his business. So Hansie has this incredible story of success, but here his children are following in his footsteps, and his successful business will be handed down to them when the time is right. And I just think that is something that not many businesses can do. As an ex-investment banker, I could never give my job to my children. And so the second generation in the business is what it's all about. So Hansie, good morning to you. Let's tell your story.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate the privilege to be part of the panel today. Thank you for inviting me. I just want to say we can actually go home now because I was so inspired by what the previous speakers have shared with us. And it was so incredibly motivating. I can identify with so many things that they share. But let me share a little bit of myself and Lydia, my wife, our story. How things started to happen for us and how we started to take the journey. I remember the very first time I was introduced by our sponsor to this business opportunity. We were really struggling financially big time. I remember the bank manager, calling me every week and asking me this question, Hansie, when are you going to pay back your big bank overdraft? And I didn't have any answers and I didn't want to lie. So I said to him, you know what, I'm working on it. And actually what we are doing, we were praying for a way out of this to just get a better life, financially and in all other aspects. And at that stage, I was full-time in the ministry. I enjoyed tremendously what I was doing, but I could not pay my bills properly, could not look properly after my family. So it was really, really challenging, And what I found is if you struggle financially, you struggle to think straight. And it's difficult to make good decisions. So when we were introduced, we were really, the big draw card was that we can supplement our income, we can make money. That was the big thing. And if I think back in hindsight, I believe that we were at a point in our life where we were so sick and tired of struggling to pay bills and driving cars that's falling apart and all these kind of things. And we also had some health issues, energy problems, a lot of stress, handling stress. And every winter time I was stricken down with bronchitis. So we were really challenged, in many, many ways. But my wife and I made the decision to get this business started. It was not a good time because she was expecting our second child. And that's not a perfect time for a woman to make a decision about starting a business. But, we did it anyway because we were sick and tired enough to get started. And I tell you, my first challenge that I realized that I had was I didn't have money to pay the kid. So I went to the bank manager and I said to him, you know what, I want to start a business. He nearly fainted because he was seeing all these big figures. And I said, no, it's a very small amount. And I mentioned the amount of the starter kit. And he said, well, you're so deep in trouble, it will not really make a big difference. So he borrowed us the money. So I borrowed the money from the bank to start our business. And I realized many people today, they make an excuse, when you approach them with a business, hey, I don't have the money. Well, my suggestion is you go and find the money because this is the way to go. We also struggled in the beginning with time issues. I was very busy, very involved in the community, and all this kind of thing. And then I started to realize if I can prioritize my life a little better, make some decisions and find the time to really dedicate to this business because we realized there is a lot of potential here. And I just went to a few committees in the community. I said, sorry, guys, I cannot be on the committee anymore. And they tried to hold me back. But you know what I found? After a week, they found somebody else to be the willing donkey to do the work. So I found the time, and I also realized that that is something that we can do. And I remember we were very excited starting the business, and especially talking to the new people now. And then I got all these negative responses, people complaining about the price of the product. Now, you must remember, we're in the business for more than 30 years. So more than 30 years ago, they complained about the prices of the product. They still do. And then the time factor, you know, they say, well, I didn't have the time to do anything else. And my response to the negative people was not to try to convince them or anything, or to fight them or stand against them. I would just say, you know what? I know exactly how you feel. And, you know, in the beginning, I felt very much the same way, but let me tell you what I found. And then I start explaining to them what the products is doing for us, the difference it makes, and also the difference the business makes in our life. And then they tend to be more open and look past their negativity. And let me tell you, in the very beginning, I was very, very disappointed with our first bonus check. I was working hard, excited, having big dreams, and got to the first bonus rally and received our first bonus check. And there it was, this tremendous amount of R7.50. And I was totally taken aback. And I thought, what kind of business is this? You know, I mean, what can I do with R7.50? But then it started to dawn on me, if I can make, with a little effort, R7.50, I can make much more money. And eventually it started to happen that I could eventually start to equal my salary as a pastor, double it, quadruple it at the end of the day. Because we made the decision, we're not going to let this disappointment hold us back. And I want to encourage the new people who still earn just a little bit of money in the beginning. Don't think it's the end, it's only the beginning. If you can make money, you can make more. So be rest assured about that. But you know, folks, I also want to link on to the previous speaker by saying that you have to make a commitment. There is a price to pay. And I tell myself all the time, I'd rather pay the price of success than trying to pay the price of failure. So I'm willing to pay a price, and there is a price to pay, but it's a price that will give you amazing benefits. There is a saying that if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. So don't steal your own dream by coming up with a lot of negative things and say you can't do it and you don't have the time and all these kind of things. And I've got another saying that helped me to keep focus all the time, reminding me. I was born and bred on a farm, and I know about animals a little bit. And you know what? This saying really caught my attention. It says, a hunting dog don't have time to scratch his fleas. So what I found, when you have a dream that's strong enough and you commit to this dream and you focus on this dream, all the little excuses don't even bother you. You don't even feel it because you are going for the goal. And that gave me a lot of energy as we went along. And I just want to say, what helped us is a lot to make a decision and say, in the first year or so in the business, it's a learning curve. We attended the University of Success. We're going to learn now, and if we make mistakes, we will learn through our mistakes, but we will not let go of the dream. We will hang on to the dream. And we made a commitment, a decision that we will stick to this business for at least 2 to 5 years. But then I also made the commitment to put at least 5 to 10 hours per week consistently in our business. It was very tough in the beginning, you know, because if you make a commitment, you must see it as a part-time business. It means you must dedicate time every week to your business. You cannot just let the business do it whenever you feel like it. No, you have to stick to a commitment and to a plan. And I had to cut out a few things like watching TV, you know, watching the news, you know, all the good positive news that lifts you all the time and tell you about all the things that's happening in the country and it's going to happen and so on. Cut out some TV time and I tell you, suddenly you have more time available to build your business. So in the beginning, we started with only on a Monday evening between 6 and 11 p.m. at night. That's all we had. And on a Saturday, I could fit in also a few hours because I was still full-time in the ministry. And let me tell you, when we stick to the plan, we start to build the business, and through that little time commitment, we built the business to one Ruby director. And that makes a tremendous difference in our lives when we get to that point of one Ruby director. So it can happen, it is possible. And let me tell you, the thing that I realize we have to work on persistently on is what the company says, you know, have personal growth, focus on developing your faith in what you can do, the faith in what we have in this amazing New Life company, the products and the support and everything, and the, in your upline and your team that you're part of. You know, you need to have faith. Go to conventions. I mean, we were so inspired by conventions. That's the places we have to go. I mean, when we get out of lockdown, we'll go there again, but that's the places we have to go, that you can get encouragement and build your faith level so that you can hang on to your dream and stick to your commitments. But folks, I want to end off by sharing just a few things that is so encouraging to us, that we realize you can achieve dreams. Dreams is a real thing. We were born to dream. Don't let your dreams go. Start dreaming again. Write down your dreams. Think of your dreams. What do you want to buy? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? Write it down and write down these things and start believing in it, that it is possible for you to do it, you know. And today we are so excited because today we are full-time in the business, and I'm a freelance pastor, so I can now do my ministry for free. Nobody has to pay me anything. It's really a dream that came true. We can have lifestyle. We stay in the beautiful Cape Town, down on the west coast in Blouberg Sands, and it's an incredible place to stay, you know, and just experience this beautiful environment that we are part of. And we could travel the world. I remember the first time we had to travel to an international convention. That was the first time we got an international flight, and I had to quickly find, for my wife and I, we had to find passports because I didn't believe I will ever travel outside the country. But we got the passports, we started to travel, and today I believe we probably traveled to more than 50 countries all over the world and seen the world and see the beautiful things. And let me tell you, what is sticking to me today is the most amazing friendships we could have built, the privilege to build friendships with our team all over where they are, and with a wonderful Eagle team and the beautiful New Life team, you know, the friendships and the depth and the power to be encouraged with people around you who are positive about life and to dream also big about life. So we are so privileged, and I salute all of our friends and all of our support that we have. But what is also amazing is, you know, what we could have done for our children, many, many things. But one of the things that stand out is some years ago, we could book international flight, and we took our children to Disneyland in Paris. And I tell you, the impact it made, instead of them watching little Disney movies, we took them and they could personally meet Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And they still talk about it today. It made a big impact in their life to realize dreams can come true. And as Drew mentioned in the beginning, we are very excited about the road ahead now, because we could get our children involved, Madelise and Henry and Marazan and Noel, and you know, my two daughters and their husbands. And we are busy working on a succession plan with the company. And thank you for Drew for the incredible support there, and Marco and everybody giving us, supporting us, and Charlie from the Eagle team side, you know, to build on a succession plan so that when we are not around anymore, my children will feel at ease and be comfortable and be part of this amazing journey. And they are very excited, and they get more and more committed and very excited about the road that we travel. And you know how we can support our cerebral palsy son. He was born cerebral palsy. He's now in his 30s. He's still staying with us. But we had a vehicle that was really run down, and we could go out and we could buy a Mercedes Vito and equip it with the best equipment for him with his electric wheelchair to get into it, and we can drive around with confidence. That's the amazing things that happen. So folks, let me tell you, the future is bright. The future is bright. Many times people ask me, when are you going to retire? And a lot of people retire and they sit at home and they don't know what they're going to do. I say to them, that's not even a word in my vocabulary. This is the business I will do for the rest of my life, because it has purpose. It touches people's lives. It makes the world a healthier and a happier place. We make a positive difference in people's lives. I want to do this for the rest of my life. And you know, what was really amazing to me is to discover during this worldwide pandemic of COVID-19, how well positioned our company are with all the technology, with the online ordering, and with the fact that we are an essential service company and we can still deliver products. And I've never been more busier than ever before, like now, because building business, contacting people, and we make Zoom, as Flory was saying, Zoom. I'm also, Flory, I'm new in Zoom now for 5 weeks, and I tell you, I get more excited as we go along. And folks, I just want to say, if we can, you can. And my assurance, my best guideline for my future and my family's future is because I give honor to Jesus Christ as the CEO of our business. I follow him in his footsteps and I acknowledge him for everything he has done, and he shows us the way. And I consult him on a daily basis, and he has always the best wisdom and advice available. So I just want to encourage you today, you know, we share all these things, not because I feel proud or, you know, anything like that. I know it's all grace. And it is absolutely grace that we came here, but this is, the purpose of this is to encourage you and say, if we can, you can, anybody can do it. Thank you, Drew, for the privilege to share.
Wow. Hans, thank you. Those were 3 magnificent stories. And I just want to thank you, Hansi, very much for that. And just touch on something. You spoke about dreaming. And I think dreaming right now in the current situation is something that is so important for us to start doing. And I think for many people, life has given them such a beating that they have stopped dreaming. And in life, I really believe we are all required to have we might be where we are, but to be having a point that we are running towards, that there's this magnetic pull that we are running towards because we're excited about it, we are motivated by it, whether that's to give our kids a better life or to improve certain aspects of our life. But having that motivation to run to that point, no matter what steps in our way, whether it's people or life or problems or challenges, we will get through them because we're so motivated to get there. But I think for many people, they have stopped dreaming and they are just staying where they are. But the challenge with that is in life, you're either moving forwards or you're moving backwards. Nothing is ever static. And for many people, I think a challenge is that, one of the biggest problems is they think they shouldn't have any problems. And I know that every single person on this call right now is facing some sort of problem or some sort of challenge, for sure. Every one of us does. But we need to become the person and have the dream big enough that will help us overcome the challenge that is in front of us currently. And when we overcome the challenge in front of us, guess what? There will be another challenge, another problem. That's life. That challenge will probably be bigger than the one that you're currently facing. And again, we need to have a goal or a dream big enough that will pull us through all those little obstacles to help us overcome that challenge. And that is what life is all about. So there's so many little nuggets and little things that we can take out of these 3 stories that will help us to hang on and help us get through those challenges and help us to overcome those obstacles that are standing in your way between success, you and success. But success, I hope the one thing that you have taken from these 3 stories is success is achievable for everybody. And that is something that I'm so proud of Neolife, is we give people the platform that can help them eliminate uncertainty out of their life. We don't care of your age, your race, your background, your past experience. We give everybody access to the same product range. We give everybody access to the same marketing plan and compensation plan. It depends what you do with it. It comes down to the person. And so everybody, thank you for being with us today. I hope you really just take value from these stories and you implement what you've learned into your life, into your business, because your destiny is success. I truly believe every one of us has been put on this earth to be blessed, because when we are blessed, we can go out and be a blessing to other people. And so guys, thank you very much. Just on Monday, just to give you a heads up, on Monday morning at 10 a.m.
Drew, can I just say before you go?
Yes.
I just want to mention something. I just want to say, I want to thank you very much for this incredible webinars and taking initiative and doing all the hard work behind the scenes. Really appreciate you and what you're doing to encourage us big time during this time. Thank you very much.
Hansi, my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Hans. Really appreciate that. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., we have 4 Diamond Director Nola McDermott, who will be teaching us about Near Life's compensation plan. How do you earn money in Near Life? Where do the percentages get earned? And as building this business, it's important to know how you make your money. And so that's going to be at 10 a.m. on Monday morning. So God bless all of you. I wish you all a fantastic Friday. And I just want to encourage you to get out there and don't let fear and uncertainty stop you from stepping into your greatness and stop you from taking that action. And get out there and reach out. If you're not part of the Near Life family, make the decision to join us. If you are part of the Near Life family, make the decision to reach out to somebody that you love and invite them to join you in your journey. God bless you all. Have a great day.